You want to fight? Fight with style. Ekskluzivno u ponudi Fight Stuffa, UFC Crest Hoodie 459 kuna, UFC National Hoodie 479 kuna, UFC Torrents Hoodie 479 kuna. Posjetite nas i naručite na www.fightstuff.hr. Kraj je godine i vrijeme je za najveće mečeve. Las Vegas centar je borilačkih priredbi i mjesto na kojem će se ponovno sastati prvak u teškoj kategoriji Junior Dos Santos i čovjek koji je bez pojasa ostao za samo 64 sekunde, Cain Velasquez. Uz obračun najboljih teškaša svijeta u Las Vegasu, u oktogon se nakon više od godinu dana pauze vraća Chris the Crippler Lieben, a ne propustite ni mečeve Joe Lawson, Jim Miller i Alan Belcher i Yushin Okami. UFC 155 Dos Santos vs Velasquez 2 pogledajte u noći sa subote na nedjelju 30. prosinca s početkom u 4 sata ujutro na pay-per-view Fight Channela.
Both Tim Boetsch and Costa Philippou enter UFC 155 riding 4-fight winning streaks.
Flow. It's a huge honor to fight Tim Boetsch. After the Okami fight, I was so impressed with that guy. He was getting his ass kicked. And the guy walks in like the Terminator and knocks Okami out.
Uppercut again! Whoa! That might be one of the greatest comebacks in the history of the UFC!
I love this fight. It's a wonderful matchup. This is going to be a good one for the fans, and I'm really excited to be part of it.
Beating Tim Boetsch, I'm going to make everybody know my name. They're going to have to pay attention.
Born on the island of Cyprus in the Mediterranean Sea, Costa Philippou began boxing when he was 15.
I have 87 amateur fights and 3 professional fights. My biggest accomplishment was a bronze medal in a European Championship in Turkey in '97.
At 25, Philippou moved to the U.S. to study MMA. 4 months later, he made his pro debut.
And I went in as a boxer. I didn't even know how to sprawl. I walked in and the first thing that I did was to attempt to throw a low kick. He picked me up and threw me on my head. That was the last kick I threw. I think it took me 3-4 fights to attempt another kick.
Up and over. Good.
I came back to the gym and I said, put boxing aside for 6-7 months. Let's wrestle every day, let's do jiu-jitsu every day, and we go back and try again. My next fight, I won that fight by a knockout, like 30 seconds into the fight.
Costa trained his ground game with former UFC champion Matt Serra and Ricardo Almeida, and also worked to refine his boxing skills for MMA.
Move, nice.
Ray Lang was in charge, obviously, of my striking.
His hands were great. He was a good boxer, and he was a decent kickboxer.
Coming from a boxing background doesn't mean that you'll be able to box as a mixed martial artist. You have to switch a lot of things. I had to learn how to use more of my footwork and throw 1 or 2, 3 punches and move away.
Costa won 7 straight fights and earned an invitation to season 11 of The Ultimate Fighter.
So that was it. This is my first and only chance of getting in the UFC. The first 32 guys that they have to fight and the 16 guys that they win get in the house. I didn't make it through that round. Left Vegas, came back thinking I will never make it in the UFC. Took a couple of months off, depressed, out of my mind. I didn't know what to do.
Then he got a surprise phone call. Nick Catone needed an opponent at UFC 128. Despite having only 5 days to prepare, Costa jumped at the chance.
Gentlemen, begin.
My goal was to not get finished, not get stopped. Don't get submitted, don't get knocked out.
Oh, good exchange.
Go home, get in shape, and show them I get.
Very short left hook there by Philippou.
I learned a lot of things. It was the first time I took an elbow to the face.
Catone trying to really rough him out.
He opened him up.
I learned how that felt. And I have to say it wasn't really bad. Besides the blood, it wasn't painful.
5 months later, against dangerous veteran Jorge Rivera, Costa got a second shot.
Oh, he got clipped with the uppercut.
I dropped Jorge the second round. I got him with an uppercut, went down.
He got clipped there. Jimmy got hurt. Philippou trying to finish this fight.
Very close fight. I won by split decision. Following fight, I went to Toronto. I fought Jared Hammond, dedicated myself for 3-4 months, striking. I knocked the guy first round, and it was probably the best moment of my life.
Last March, Costa challenged Court McGee, who'd won the Ultimate Fighter the season that Costa had failed to reach the house.
Let's do it.
He tried to take me down, I think 11 takedown attempts.
McGee would like to get the takedown, but having a hard time getting his hands.
He wasn't able to take me down, so I managed to beat the winner of season 11, the season that I wasn't able to get in because I wasn't good enough. In last July, I fought in Vegas against Ricky Fukuda, another great wrestler.
There's the shot under. Look at that stuffed.
I won that fight too.
Only 4 years after taking up the sport, Costa Philippou has an opportunity to take out one of the division's elite.
If I don't believe I can win and I can do this sport, I wouldn't even train. If deep down you believe that you shouldn't be there and you don't deserve to be there, you don't have the skill set to be there, you're in the wrong business. Work behind a desk. I find it easier to get punched in the face than being behind a desk. If I didn't believe I was able to become a UFC champion, I wouldn't be fighting.
Both seems very solid.
And very relaxed.
Yeah, especially considering the fact that he took this fight on short notice.
Tim Boetsch took his first UFC fight on just 10 days' notice as an underdog to veteran David Heath.
Again with those knees. David Heath covering up, but he's absorbing the impact of these knees, and that's doing some damage.
Right knee, left knee. Oh, and he literally throws him on the ground.
I TKO'd David Heath right at the end of the first round after throwing him on his head.
Wins his UFC debut!
And that's one of the most famous throws in the UFC to date.
After beating the odds against Heath, Tim struggled in 2 of his next 3 fights and was released from the UFC. He decided to expand his training beyond his small town in Pennsylvania.
My manager told me I needed to go check out this camp in Kirkland, Washington called AMC with a coach by the name of Matt Hume.
Pressure on his wrist right there. Your left hip, pressure's down on his wrist.
Most fighters don't have someone who can build them as grapplers, strikers, wrestlers, put it all together at the same time. They have to go to individual coaches.
Combinations, there you go, don't hesitate.
And I can train guys how to put those things together. And so that's kind of where Tim was missing it.
Let your right leg come over his, so you pass to the side. Keep going, keep going, keep going, there you go.
As soon as I came out here and started training with Matt, it was like a light being switched on. Matt just took my kind of raw, brutal style, tweaked it a little bit, and it certainly has improved tenfold.
Right knee through, there you go.
Under Hume's guidance, Tim returned to the UFC and is 4-0 since moving down to middleweight.
Whoa, tries for a head kick. Very nice uppercut.
Tim Boetsch is one of the toughest guys in the UFC, period.
Nice trip. Oh, beautiful! That was stellar.
In his last 2 fights, the Barbarian has become the hype killer.
Tremendous round 1 for Kami.
This is as good as we've ever seen.
Absolutely.
You can beat this guy, Tim. You've hit him. You just got to hit him more now, okay?
In February of 2012, he derailed highly ranked Yushin Okami in dramatic fashion.
Oh, good though. He's got him hurt.
It's Tim
Boetsch with the comeback.
Uppercut again. Boetsch trying to finish it.
What a comeback!
And it is all over.
What a comeback!
Defeats Yushin Okami.
What a comeback!
Wow.
A lot of people said it was just like a Rocky movie, and honestly, it sort of felt like that being part of it.
Touch gloves, go back, let's do this.
No touch.
Didn't even look at him. Nope.
5 months later, he took on Hector Lombard, undefeated in his last 25 fights in Lombard's highly anticipated UFC debut.
Tim, the Barbarian Bosch!
All my opponents have been looking past me. They're talking title shots. They're talking their next fight. They got to get through me first before they do any of that.
Tim is a well-rounded fighter. Obviously, he's coming from a wrestling background, but his last couple of fights, he's striking with everybody. He's kicking like a kickboxer. He's punching like a boxer.
Oh, that's a nice right hand.
A lot of my opponents, I think they encounter something they're not used to when we start fighting, and I think I just make people uncomfortable in the cage.
Big knee by Bosch. Whoa, tries for a head. Get him his bottom. Very nice uppercut.
The guy is a big, muscular guy. It's not easy when you get pushed against the fence to get away from a guy like Tim Bosch. So I will try to stay away from the fence if that's possible.
I think that my wrestling for MMA is superior to his.
Nice, beautiful takedown by Bosch.
Tim's got a ground game that people haven't even really seen yet. He's got a very high-level ground game.
The wrestling of Tim Bosch is so dominant here at 185 pounds.
They think that my ground skills are non-existent. They think I'm going to end up losing this fight because of lack of jiu-jitsu. But I'm pretty confident with my jiu-jitsu skills.
Close guard. Good elbows from the bottom by Philippou.
I'm more than capable of submitting somebody. I just choose not to. If I have a choice, I'll get up and exchange and hopefully knock somebody out.
Hammond's in big, big, big trouble.
And again.
Oh, that's it, that's it, that's it.
It's all over.
Mercifully rescued.
I think Costa defends a few takedowns, and it becomes a stand-up fight, and that's where Costa's comfortable. Tim Bosch isn't going to be able to catch him.
Now it's Philippou who's stalking. Oh, he got clipped with the uppercut.
I'm going in thinking I'm going to strike with a guy. There's an old saying that my coach used to tell me that always speed beats power, and I want to test that.
Oh, he got tagged! He got big he got hit hard. Oh, he's hurt bad.
He's shown great stand-up ability, but that being said, I definitely see some weaknesses in there to exploit, and I fully intend on doing that.
Costa's got some of the best hands in the UFC. His footwork is phenomenal. If Costa can control the range in this fight, he's going to win this fight handily.
I think I'll be able to get in and out before he even touches me.
Wait on that. Good shots there by Philippou. Philippou's opening up, Mike.
I love this fight. It's a wonderful matchup. This is going to be a good one for the fans, and I'm really excited to be part of it.
I'll tell you what, Tim Bosch is an animal.
I'm going to turn it into a very high-paced fight and make it ugly. He's a tough guy. I think I'm tougher. So I want to push him to the limits and see if he can stay in the fight with me.
What power that guy has in his hands.
This is the biggest fight of my life. I win this fight, and I'm one step closer to my ultimate goal of being world champion.
Tim, the Barbarian Bosch!
I will go and try to knock Tim Bosch out, try to submit him, try to throw him, try to do anything possible to finish Tim Bosch. If I finish Tim, everybody will be like, who is this guy? That's what I want to see. I want to see everybody like that.
Kraj je godine i vrijeme je za najveće mečeve. Las Vegas centar je borilačkih priredbi i mjesto na kojem će se ponovno sastati prvak u teškoj kategoriji Junior Dos Santos i čovjek koji je bez pojasa ostao za samo 64 sekunde, Cain Velasquez. Uz obračun najboljih teškaša svijeta u Las Vegasu, u oktogon se nakon više od godinu dana pauze vraća Chris the Crippler Lieben, a ne propustite ni mečeve Joe Lawson, Jim Miller i Alan Belcher i Yushin Okami. UFC 155 Dos Santos vs Velasquez 2 pogledajte u noći sa subote na nedjelju 30. prosinca s početkom u 4 sata ujutro na pay-per-view Fight Channela. Za svaku kupnju iznad 500 kuna Fight Stuff vas daruje Crow Cup Final Fight majico. Želimo vam čestit Božić i sretnu novu 2013. godinu.